Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cinderellimouse and I'm here today with the Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack courtesy of the EA Creator Network, who have given me early access. I've created a family of some Sims for you, so if you want some Sims to play with as soon as you get your hands on this pack, they only require the base game and Life and Death expansion pack, and I am excited to show them to you today. So this is the Alexandrescu family, and they are a brother and sister. We have Cassiopeia and Orpheus, who have just inherited or just returned to their aunt's house. So they got the news that their aunt had passed away. Cassiopeia was actually away at university, and Orpheus was kind of touring with his kind of like low-key rock band. He's kind of like an up-and-coming artist, and they've both kind of been recalled from where they were. Unfortunately, their parents passed away a number of years ago, so they were kind of being raised by Medea, who I might have said aunt, but she's not their aunt, she's their grandmother. So they've kind of been raised from childhood by their grandmother Medea, and yeah, they are upon her death, they've kind of returned to her house to kind of read the will and to figure out what's going on with like inheritance and heirlooms and things like that. But their grandmother was a bit of a quirky character. She has a kind of strange reputation among the locals as being, I don't know, some people call her a witch, some people call her a vampire, but she definitely has some strange stories circling around her. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into Cass and kind of explain kind of the style of them and what I've got going on with them. Okay, so here we are in Cass, and this is Cassiopeia. Now, they actually have Greek-sounding names. I believe this is, well, Alexandrescu is a Romanian last name, but it is derived from the Greek language. So they've got a bit of a Greek influence, even though they're from Romania, which I believe is a thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Cassiopeia, basically, she's quite upset. You know, her grandmother just died. So she's got kind of the new kind of mascara that's kind of like dribbling down her eyes there, but I've made it a bit more faded. I kind of turned it down so it wasn't quite so vibrant. So this is kind of like a custom version of it, because like some of it is very, very bright, but you can kind of play around with the saturation and the opacity and get something a bit more natural looking. Her lipstick is just the MAC lipstick. I thought it looked really nice on her. The kind of style that I've gone from her, I originally was going to go for the classic like Lydia D, it's kind of Wednesday Addams look, but I wanted to do something a bit different because I felt like that was perhaps a bit too predictable. So the inspiration for her face is actually Firuza Balk in The Craft, and the style that I've given her is a mix of The Craft with kind of like the long dresses, but also kind of a dark academia style, which comes from the movie Heathers with Winona Ryder. So keep in mind kind of The Craft and Heathers for the kind of style inspiration that I've given her. Now, she is a good person. Like I say, she's been away studying in England, so she is a bookworm, and she's very scientific, she's a genius, and she's skeptical. So skeptical is one of the new traits that come with this pack, and it says not entirely trusting of the majority of things that you see or hear. Skeptical Sims like to challenge the universe to provide concrete proof that something is indeed as might appear. So it's not so much that she just doesn't believe in ghosts, it's that she's looking for proof. So I've currently got Ghost Historian as her aspiration, but what I was kind of thinking for her, if you have other packs installed, is things like the aspiration to do with like vampire lore or Realm of Magic as well has kind of like a knowledge-based aspiration. So she just wants to, like, she kind of wants to go in and not kind of discredit the occult, but to verify it and to kind of like get that scientific data to back up the things that are happening. That's kind of the concept that I've got for her. So she's skeptical in a way where she just needs concrete proof. She's not a believer. That's kind of what I was thinking for her. Her hobbies, she likes the violin, she likes thanatology, and she likes the colour green. Let me go through some of her outfit choices. So this is actually a menswear top. You have to take off the feminine tag to find this, but I think it's a really, really nice item. I love the kind of dark academia style. I love the patches on the arms. The texture of it's lovely as well. It's got like a proper kind of like knitwear texture to it, which I think is really, really nice. You can see though that the necklace is clipping just slightly at the back there. The choker, I absolutely adore this. I think I've wanted chokers in the game for a long, long time, and this is so pretty. I'm very, very happy to have that in the game. And I like that they've styled this like like very, very wearable kind of cardigan with a very simple plain top. I think it just makes it very usable. And then this is just on with like the base game skirt. And then I've also put on kind of the new boots that come with this pack with this. There's like a number of new shoes. They're all great. Really excited to get the female loafers. And these kind of boots are the ones that I've chosen in just like the plain black swatch for that. She's got the new hairstyle as well with these gorgeous baby hairs. And if I can get her to smile, can you smile for me? She does have the little gap teeth as well, which I think just makes her look really, really cute and adorable. She's also got like these kind of like, I don't know, what do you call these, smoldering eyes? Excuse me, phone, I'm busy. And this kind of like beauty mark as well to just give her a slightly kind of witchy vibe. I do like the idea of her being a spellcaster if you get Realm of Magic installed, and if that's something you want to do, because again, she is based on the craft. So showing you some of the other outfits I've created for her here. This is another one that I've put together. Again, this is kind of based slightly more on Heather's, and that's kind of like 1980s kind of academia style. So she's got, again, this is a menswear top, but I think it works really well on the women as well, with the little base game hat and the really cute little loafers and the culottes from this pack. I think this is a really, really cute look. Very happy with how this one turned out. She is using a different lipstick. This is let me just go to it. This is this lipstick here that was designed by AKA Lukery. Really love that lipstick. Again, it just has that kind of like 80s vibe to it. And the hat as well, if I take this off, she's actually got the male hair on her, which again, I just kind of liked the kind of cropped, kind of messy hair. I did think it looked a little bit Fairuza Balk. I don't know why, I don't know when she wore her hair like that, but that's what it's kind of reminding me of. And I do think that's a really, really cute look. Next up, we've got this outfit with, again, one of the new hairs from the pack. This is kind of like a bit more ruffled. And again, it's kind of drawing on kind of the shorter tomboy styles that you might see. Not necessarily from Heather's, although she has a shorter hairstyle in Heather's than the other Heathers, Winona Ryder does. But I don't know. I kind of knew what I was going for, but I can't explain it here. There you go. You saw her little teeth. And I just love her makeup here. I think it's like really smoky looking. I think she looks really, really pretty, very cute while still looking kind of tomboyish. Also, her frame is very, very slender and very skinny. I've intentionally made her very, very petite and almost like a wasted away look, just for the style of the pack and the clothing. And then yeah, she's got this kind of what does appear to be like a more mumsy dress, but if you look at the craft, they do wear kind of like longer skirts and kind of more mumsy styles with big boots. This is kind of in style in the 90s. I remember doing this myself, kind of like the vintagey style dresses with the big boots. And so yeah, this is kind of the look that I've given her here with those really cool boots. Again, these are tagged as menswear, not feminine, but I think they look great on women. I see girls wearing boots like this all the time as well, so I think they're very, very fashionable. So definitely recommend like taking off the tags that they automatically put on and just playing around with things and deciding what you like rather than kind of what is set by the game. But yeah, really, really love that look there as well. And this is a really nice item. A lot of the items have really nice texture detail, like fabric detail to them, and the draping of the fabric as well looks quite realistic. So I think back to kind of like the base game and early game kind of models that we were getting, where it was very kind of like Lego blocky, like Lego boxy, and kind of like not really how people wear clothes. And I think this pack is really making use of kind of like the impression of draping fabric and folds and creases in a much, much better way. And then things as well, like just where they've put the shine on things makes sense. You know, the belt has a bit of a shine to it there, you can see, and also kind of like the impression of depth with the fabric as well, like where it folds and creases, it doesn't look flat. Where the belt is, it doesn't look flat, it kind of pops out. So again, I think the quality of the pieces is very, very high here. Even on that lace, you can see how the lace is like slightly raised. It doesn't look flat against, you know, like a sheet of paper that has been drawn on. It actually does look like fabric. So I think the quality is very high with Cass in this pack, and I really like the improvements that they're making. Another thing that I like is that the colour palette is very complementary in this pack. I wish they kind of consistently use the same colour palettes across all packs all the time, but I do find like I can mix and match pieces quite well and quite easily. Okay, keeping on going. So again, I've used a lot of menswear on it. Again, I was trying to do something a little bit different than perhaps, you know, the straightforward way that the pack suggests things being used, which is very kind of Wednesday Addams, Lydia Deetz. I kind of wanted to use things perhaps in a more unexpected way, just to show you the potential of some of these items. So again, this is menswear, but I think it has this lovely, almost 80s kind of preppy look to it, which does kind of remind me of like the Heathers movie. So yeah, I kind of wanted to show you that that was an option too. Finally, we've also got this, which is one of the really cute items in the game. It is full body, so I'm kind of limited to how much I can style this, but I've put it on with these big boots that you get. These are kind of like these ones with like the broderie, not broderie anglaise, what would you call that? I can't think of the word for it right now, but kind of, I put them on with kind of the more ready ones. I just think that's a really cute outfit. Nothing more to say about that. I think it's really nice. I like the layering. I like the way it drapes, all that good stuff. I like how this looks kind of enameled as well. Again, it's got a slight shine to that kind of jewel on the front of the belt there. I think, honestly, the cast in this pack, and again, you can see it's got a texture. It's not like that flat colour that you used to get in the base game. Like, the fabric looks like fabric, maybe a cotton or a denim, and then the shirt looks like a silk. So yeah, I really think that the quality of this pack is getting really good in terms of cast, and I hope to see that continue across the board with future packs. Let's go over to formal. Of course, I've put her in this dress. This dress is one of the most fabulous items in the entire game. I love, again, that sense of draping with the fabric. Now, knowing fabric and kind of like dressmaking in real life, you have something called cutting fabric on the bias, which gives it a really nice kind of like flowy movement to the fabric. And this is giving cut on the bias. It's very Coco Chanel. And I love that they've been able to kind of like get the impression of a very, very silky, flowy fabric, like through the use of like the texture and the mesh, and just thinking about how fabric naturally falls. I think they've done a really good job of that in this pack. Like, look at the skirt at the bottom. It looks so like pretty and natural looking. Just, they've done such a great job. And then like the actual detail of these feathers, like clearly you can see how that would have been crafted if that was in real life. It's like sheer fabric, and then they've kind of done this piping or like stitching embroidery effect on them, which, you know, really pops out to you. I think, again, like the attention to detail with this cast is really, really good. Carrying on then, for her athletic wear, I do like to create, when we get a new pack, I do like to kind of show you how you can create different looks throughout like all the different outfit types. So this is my attempt at doing something kind of athletic-y. So I've just got this kind of like quite plain top on. In kind of like a white fabric, and then these which kind of look a bit like jogging bottoms, again not tagged for athletic, but you can go ahead, and I don't even think they're tagged for feminine. I think these are like male pants. It's these ones, but they do kind of look a little bit casual, almost like jogging bottoms, so I thought I'd kind of like use those for that as well. And she's just kind of got like white trainers on there. For her sleepwear, she's wearing one of my favourite items, which is this smoking jacket. Love this so much. We do have like another smoking jacket in the game, but always really nice to see. Again, she's wearing a lot of menswear. This isn't tagged for feminine. We do have this for feminine if you did want a feminine alternative, but again, I was trying to do something a little bit different. She's got it on with these kind of Argyle style socks, which kind of give old English vibes. So again, in keeping with the kind of story that I've got for her of being like maybe a little bit more of a posher class, maybe being a little bit historical in her dress sense, a little bit vintage. So that's kind of what I've done for her there. Jumping over to a party wear then. This is one of the favourite outfits that I've created for her. It is a little bit more young, it is a little bit more trendy, and I absolutely love this. This skirt, my eldest would absolutely 100% wear this. Really, really love kind of, you get like the check version as well, and some really nice colours there. I think, you know, like very muted and wearable colours rather than kind of the bright, almost kind of like primary school palette that they sometimes do in the game. I really, really like that. I find it much easier to mix and match when we get a muted palette, so I appreciate that. Again, the draping of the fabric on that top is very, very nice. The sleeves like stop at a really good length as well, like a natural length just on the top of the wrist. I love how sheer the fabric is on the arms as well, and even the fabric has a slight texture to it. It does look very realistic. Really, really like that. It doesn't stick out too much either. It's a little bit wide at the bottom, but it looks quite natural. I think, again, really, really nice item there, and just a nice way to kind of style that with those big boots as well, which are kind of enabled for men. Jumping across as well, we also have, oh, I think she has the new lipstick on here. Yeah, so I went ahead and I used the new lipstick on her. And again, just like the eyeshadow, I kind of toned it down for her and made it more muted. So you've got kind of like brown, you've got this kind of brighter red, and all I did was kind of like turn the brightness down, turn the saturation up, and then turn the opacity down, and you get something kind of like a bit more natural, a bit more muted, and kind of very gothic looking. And that's kind of what I was doing with that. I think I like changed the color to be slightly more pinkish too, but just letting you know that that's an option, and I definitely recommend kind of playing around with the makeup. If you do find it a bit too bright, you can make it much more natural looking. Jumping across here then, this is another cute little outfit I did. I really wish we had this shirt without the top on, like just the shirt itself. I would use that all the time because you get this really nice, is this for menswear as well? Oh no, it's not tagged for party. Again, I just like to do my own thing with Cass. I take the tags off quite often. Is it menswear? It's menswear. So again, like just a white shirt like that, I would use that all the time, and I really wish it didn't have that thing on top. I do like the thing on top, just, you know, I think it limits it a little bit to how often I'm going to use it, but this is cute. I like it. Yeah, and then just throwing it on, because it's got a little bit of interesting detail on it, throwing it on with like a basic pair of jeans is also super useful. These jeans are great. Again, I'm probably going to use them. They're kind of like jean trousers. I'm probably going to use these quite a lot. Like the dark navy blue is really nice, the black is really handy, and I do kind of like this grey colour quite a lot. They're just a nice fit. I like the straight leg of them. I like the high waist on them. I think they're very, very usable. They look great on the ass, which is always something I look for in a good pair of jeans. And again, she's just got like these new boots on with that as well. Okay, jumping over to her final outfit. Again, we're seeing a very similar outfit to kind of outfit one there, but I like it with this top, so I did want to kind of do a version with this top. This is a little bit more rock and roll. I think you're going to see a lot of creators doing this look because it's very on trend. Like you see kids wearing things like this all the time. Yeah, really, really love this look. And again, very Firuza Balk. It's very charmed. If you think about like that image from, not Charmed, sorry, The Craft. I might have been saying Charmed, I meant The Craft. So that kind of image, the iconic image from the movie The Craft, where the four girls are walking and they kind of got something resemblant of school uniform without it actually being school uniform, really very much reminds me of that. Like if I was to go and put that on her in white, it'd be very, very similar to what they were in that movie. And I really, really like that. So yeah, really cool outfit there. Because she's got that choker on, I thought it was nicer, because the skirt's quite detailed and she's got the choker on, I thought it was nice to just give her like the plain top rather than have like too many things going on. I thought it made it more streamlined, but you know, you could totally like mess around with that if you wanted to. Going over to swimwear then, we have this swimwear outfit, which is straightforward. It's just the new swimwear that came in the pack, so not much to say about that. You could also put the men's swimwear on it if you wanted to. It looks great on her as well. Just kind of show you some of the options there. Sorry if you can hear banging around, my kids are off school at the moment. So there we go. Also hot weather, so she's got this kind of like, again, I see her as being very vintage, very much like dark academia, and very kind of stylish and kind of that old world style, even though she is quite young. So this kind of like hot weather, very ladylike outfit I thought was very, very pretty on her. You can see her kind of like strolling around the ornamental gardens, or, you know, being in the library researching kind of old kind of thanatology stories or something like that. Really, really love it. And I think again, she'd make a great spellcaster. Like I love how this complements things like, you know, crystal creations and the kind of style that came with that. Also vintage glamour, I think is very reminiscent of. And I really like this hat with this new hairstyle with the little pretty curls. I think it's very, very pretty. And again, I love that kind of understated kind of makeup on her. I think she's absolutely stunning. Going over to her cold weather then, we've got this. Again, this top is tagged for men. It's not tagged for the feminine frame, so you just need to take off the feminine tag to get hold of this. But I think it works really well for women, and I'm excited to get more coats and more winter wear options because I love winter wear, and I love the layering on this. I love the scarf. I think it's a really nice piece. And then I went ahead and put it on with the culottes that you get from this pack. So again, you need to take off the cold weather tag to get these, but I think with a pair of gloves and with a pair of boots and some tights, the hat as well, like the accessories, I think that works really well for cold weather. You could definitely see a woman in like New York or Paris wearing something like this on a cold day. So yeah, I think that's a really, really stylish outfit. One of my favorites that I've put together in the game. And again, just talking about how the color palette matches across items. Obviously this is an item kind of tagged for feminine, and this is an item tagged for masculine, and yeah, I've put them together and they kind of match really nicely. So again, those muted consistent color palettes, I really, really appreciate it when they do that. Jumping over then to Orpheus Alexandrescu. I wasn't feeling very creative with this name. Like Cassiopeia came out of nowhere and I was like, I love that name, working with it. Orpheus was just running with the Greek name theme. Yeah, he's a musician, surprise, surprise. And he has some of the new traits. He has macabre, he has chased by death, and he has non-committal. Now, he's not a bad person. I do see him as a bit of a player, a bit of a romantic, so I have also given him the serial romantic kind of aspiration there. But the idea is not because he's like a player or he's a bad person, but because he's chased by death and he knows that his time is limited, he's kind of like really getting out there, having a good time, like making the most out of his life and kind of meeting a lot of people and having a lot of experiences. So he is kind of a bit of a pleasure seeker, but it's more coming from a place of knowing his time is short than you know, any kind of fear of commitment. So again, he's like, I'm not going to stick around and kind of like knuckle down in a career because there's no point. I'm just kind of going to kind of like form a band, go out on the road and kind of like meet a lot of people. So yeah, he's a bit of a player, but he's not coming from a bad place. So he also likes the guitar because of course he does. But he has this really cool t-shirt on with this very kind of like rock and roll style, which if my name would move while I'm trying to show this off, thank you. So this kind of like crow and skull symbology here. These pants, which I think are really quite rock and roll. I love how these pants are kind of, let me just take the shirt off a second while I show you these. I love how these are kind of like a really nice fitting, simple pair of trousers. Like you could see these wearing as like part of a suit or something, or just part of like, you know, being slightly dressed up to go to the bar, but then putting it on with like the rock and roll t-shirt and having that slight detail on it just gives it a bit of interest. And I love that for menswear. So Sims team, if you can keep doing that, the kind of really, really good fitting clothing, classic shapes, but with a very small twist, I think works really well, because I think, you know, it's easy to do too much with menswear and kind of go overboard. So keeping it simple and just having like one special thing works really, really well. And again, they fit really nicely. I like how they kind of like tuck in at the knees there as though he's been walking, and kind of like you can see where the fabric is creasing where his knees are, and then they're like rumple at the bottom, and they're a nice length too. So really, really nice fitting pants there. He's also got like the musician kind of black fingernails there. If I can't remember which kit it came from. I can't remember if it's like the goth kit or like the grunge kit or another kit, but one of the kits recently gave us kind of like chipped black nail varnish. So I'm going to put that on him when I get him kind of in my main save. And I've also put that ring on him. Unfortunately, it is clipping into his finger. It's disappeared on one side, but I kind of liked the skull ring on him, so I just kind of left it, even though it is clipping, unfortunately. It's not tagged for females. Again, you have to take the tag off to get that. So yeah, and he has this kind of like almost like Elvis-like look to him. I think he's really hot. At first, when I first randomized him, because I randomized him from his sister, like I created a brother using genetics, he really didn't look that great. And I kind of went in and tweaked him for quite a while. And I think I'm really, really happy with how he looks now. Again, he's got like the frown lines because he is chased by death. He does have concerns. So again, if I could give him things like gloomy, like I kind of wanted to give him this mix of kind of like gloomy and outgoing, and like not loner because again, he's getting out and kind of enjoying life. I don't know, that's kind of the vibe I was going for him. He has actually got lipstick on. He's got the new makeup on. So if I just go over to lipstick, it's not enabled for masculine, but I kind of went ahead and kind of again, I just went in and kind of played around with it, making it quite opaque, making it quite light, and kind of the saturation down as well. And eventually I got to this thing that almost looks like he's got maybe just like a lip seal on, or you know, some kind of moisturizer on his lips, again just to give him, if my name will move please, inconvenient name, like again just to give him a slightly different kind of look there. I thought that was quite nice, rather than just kind of like the lips that we always have on Sims. It kind of looks quite natural, and it then again gives him kind of a bit more of a washed out palette, which I really like. He's got a bit of guy liner on too, but I do see him as like naturally having quite kind of like dark eyelashes, so that's kind of the vibe I was going for. Again very kind of Elvis like hairstyle there. I think he looks very rock and roll. I think he's very handsome, very happy with how he turned out. He's got the new boots on as well that came with this pack, these kind of like very rock and roll style, kind of like heavy Doc Martens. His other outfit here then as well is this kind of like all-in-one kind of very layered clothing. Again, layering of simple shapes, like layered basics is great for menswear because it just makes them look very fashionable. I think menswear is a lot about kind of like the quality of the item, the fit of the item, and then like, you know, wearing it right, rather than having anything that's too ostentatious or too like loud or showy. You're more likely to get kind of like a lot of like flounces and details in women's wear than you are with menswear. So classic menswear shapes layered, I think is such a great look, and I really love this outfit. One of my favorite things about it is, again, the Sims team have really thought about how fabric moves when they've kind of created these items, because again, gone are those kind of like blocky Lego shapes, and instead they've thought about how, you know, that fabric is like tucked into his pants and it has that natural fold, but then also how that shirt kind of like goes in, like when you move, like your shirt moves from side to side. So again, I think this looks very natural and very worn. Even things like the detail of the creases on the shoulders looks great. Really nice. And again, the fabric isn't plain, it has a slight like felt or moleskin, or like you know, maybe what word am I thinking of, like I don't know, like a woolen texture. So yeah, really love the attention to detail with this pack. I think the cast has been really getting better and better in terms of like making it look like an actual fabric, right? Not giving it like an all over shine that makes it look plasticky, avoiding blocky shapes, natural fabrics. Sims team are doing great when it comes to cast. And again, I just wanted to make him look a little less posh and a little bit more rock and roll. So I did just put this on with those kind of like scruffy Converse trainers from the base game, rather than something from the pack that's like, you know, something that's like formal wear. I thought that was, again, just a bit more dressed down for him, a bit more comfortable, because again, he has been traveling, right? He's come back from, you know, the tour that he was on. So yeah, comfort is key. Going to his formal wear then, he has this. Again, it's giving Elvis. I don't know. Not my favorite outfit that I've put on him, but it's a very exaggerated shape. But I do like it on him. It does look a little bit vintage. It looks a bit mid-century, and I definitely think I can make that work. Again, look at the slight shine on the buttons there. Just that attention to detail is really nice. Not just the buttons of the jacket, but the buttons of the undershirt too has a slight shine. Really good use of the spec maps there. Going over to his athletic wear, he's got the new bathing suit on as athletic wear. It is tagged as athletic, and to me it looks a bit like what wrestlers wear in high school. So that was kind of the vibe that I went for him. Like, he's on the high school wrestling team. He's such a stud with the kind of like the socks and things like that as well. And I love that you can see his tattoo there. He definitely looks a bit rock and roll. He does look like, again, talking about like Heathers as a reference for the inspiration for their clothing, kind of like the bad boy at high school. He has that kind of vibe. Really like it. And also kind of like you know, with that jacket as well, with this coat, it's definitely giving like Breakfast Club sort of 1980s movie kind of vibe. So yeah, that's kind of what I was going for him as well. This is his sleepwear. So he's got kind of, again, going with that 1950s Elvis kind of 1960s inspo, going for the kind of flames that you'd normally see on the side of like a car or something. I definitely thought was in keeping with his kind of like rock and roll bad boy kind of look. And he's just got that on with the t-shirt that I showed you before, but kind of like a plain swatch. Again, maybe that sticks out a tiny bit too much on the sleeves. I do like, again, a little bit of attention to detail. They've given it this drop shoulder seam. It's not kind of where you'd normally see the seam on a t-shirt. They've dropped it down. Yeah, I can see what they've done. I can see kind of the thinking behind what they've been doing with these, and I appreciate it. Party wear then. So this is actually, I think it looks quite feminine. I think the scarf makes it look very feminine. But this is actually tagged for males, and I really like this look. I like how the collar's turned up at the back as well. Again, nice detail there. Again, just that slight flare on the back there with the tailoring, really nice. It does look quite rock and roll. I don't know, maybe like Axl Rose, or who's the lead singer of Guns N' Roses? Is that Axl Rose? I don't know. Like, it does kind of give like vintage rock star vibes, and then with the glasses as well that are very kind of like Gary Oldman in Dracula. I think it's a really fun look. It's kind of very stylish without being too much. You could definitely see this being kind of like a vintage rock star look. Again, he's got those same pants on but in the red color. Again, I love the black piping on those. If I just take the top off for a second, really love that color combination there. Looks really rock and roll to me. I can't explain it, but it does. Kind of gives the effect of kind of like traditional kind of like Georgian era military wear. You see that kind of detail kind of on, you know, jackets and things for soldiers. So really interesting use of that, and I think it looks really awesome. One thing I do like as well, and something that I can see that they've thought about with Cass, is because the pack itself has this theme of kind of like hand-me-downs and heirlooms and kind of ancestry and you know, that kind of thing, legacy, I suppose. You can see that affecting the Cass as well. You can see that concept and theme coming across into Cass, because some of this looks like, you know, maybe that was your granddad's scarf, or maybe that was, you know, maybe those pants were like an heirloom piece of pants that came from, you know, some military uniform that somebody in your family once wear. So it kind of gives the feeling of like maybe these people have been thrift shopping or going through the grandparents' wardrobe, and I kind of really like that. So very cool concept to kind of pull through there. Going over to this outfit here, again, this fits so nicely. We've definitely had some kind of waistcoats or vests, if you like, in the game that haven't been a very good fit. I found the vest to be too tight or too high or too boxy looking, where this has a very natural kind of like tailored slim fit. Love the detail on the back here. This kind of like piping embroidery detail, really nice. A slight thing to notice as well is that this panel here is darker than the other panels, which just gives it some interest. Again, just very nice. It's kind of a true black as well. It doesn't look like a weird off black. A really nice item. It comes in some really nice colors as well. I kind of like this color a lot. I think that'd be really lovely for weddings with the gold buttons, and the kind of like the mix of like the gold buttons and the brown buttons. Just very nice. Like the shirt like folds nicely. I think the Sims team are doing a really good job. Like, that one is so lovely. The color combination, again, this idea of kind of not needing to do everything in like big, loud, clashy colors like we saw in kind of like city living and things like that, but understanding that sometimes less is more. And like those muted colors look very wearable and very attractive, and just a lot more kind of upscale and less kind of primary school than some of the earlier casts that we had in the game. I really appreciate those kind of like muted tones. Really lovely. That's a really nice one as well. It's just such a nice item, but he's just wearing the plain black, and he's got it on with these kind of like base game jeans, and then the new boots that come in this pack just kind of show you some of the colors on those. And again, I appreciate that you get like all the browns, so you get kind of like the kind of like reddish brown, the tan, the dark brown, the kind of like wine brown, the kind of like vintage green color, and then of course like classic black, white and cream. It's kind of like you're getting all the good leather colors with that one. The only one I could go for maybe would be like a darker chocolate brown, because that dark brown is kind of like the wine color. I could have gone for like a darker kind of almost like vintage, or what do they call it? Antique brown, maybe a chocolate antique brown is the only color that I'd say was missing there. But yeah, I really love that, really cool. I like the slight heel as well. Again, it just makes him look a little bit rock and roll. Going over to this outfit, this is my wild card. I just kind of wanted to see what that t-shirt looked like on males. It looks all right. I'm not saying you can't do that. I think because it's got this almost like halter neck underneath, it does look very feminine. It's fine. I don't love it. What I want to do when I get these Sims into kind of my main save is to switch that out for something from maybe like the grunge kit or the goth kit. And I think, you know, it's kind of a placeholder for kind of what I'm thinking when I get more packs installed. Going over to swimwear then, this is, yeah, standard. This is the swimwear that comes in the game. This is kind of like the traditional new swimwear item. Okay, sorry for the interruption. My cat has decided he wants to come in and my kids are off school and it might be a bit noisy back there. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, now he settles. Okay, so going over to his hot weather outfit, he just kind of has this on. This is kind of the base game t-shirt. It got updated to add some texture to it, which I really, really appreciated at the time. And then he's got these kind of almost lederhosen style pants on. If I kind of show you, if we zoom in, they've got this kind of like leather patch detail or like embroidered kind of thing going on kind of like the cuff or the hem of the pants, which just gives it kind of like a lederhosen vibe, which again, like they have this kind of, well, technically it's Eastern European kind of Romanian style to the pants, so like I guess that's the inspiration behind those, not technically lederhosen, but again, just kind of showing you that variant, like that way to style it if that's something you're interested in. And to the cold weather, he's just got this like all-in-one kind of jacket on, which again is very super cool. So I'm not going to go through and show you every single cast item. I just wanted to give you kind of a vibe of like some ways to wear it, some ways to style it, and also kind of you know, create some Sims for you guys to play with if you're interested in just grabbing some Sims off the gallery and kind of launching them into your game. I thought I'd like set you up with a bit of a storyline. So yeah, that is kind of the vibe. And then just kind of like touch on Medea. She's not the main character. The main characters are Cassiopeia and Orpheus, but I did want to give you kind of the dead grandma to do the haunting with, and she's not great. Like I say, like there's some rumors around town about her, and maybe she wasn't a good person in life. She is evil, she's a kleptomaniac, and she's materialistic, and she also has villainous Valentine. And what I was thinking for her is that she could have been a bit of a Black Widow character in her youth, maybe marrying rich men for money and then they mysteriously die. So maybe she's very friendly with the Grim Reaper or something. I wanted to give you something to play around with there with that. And also maybe you want to give her some of the kind of more negative ghost powers and she can maybe haunt them and make their lives a bit of a misery because she's jealous that they get to live and she's not living anymore. But yeah, that is Medea and that's her kind of vibe. Let me show you what she looks like kind of if I take off the ghost overlay, just so you kind of know what you're dealing with here. I think she's got a really cool style to her. I kind of love the kind of white hair with the black lipstick. she's a character, so good luck with her. Maybe they can kind of like maybe their whole thing is going to be they have to kind of help her to complete her bucket list and get her to move on and rebirth so that they can have the house. Like they've got to kind of almost get rid of the possession of the house. Yeah, some fun stuff for you to play around with there, but I'll kind of leave that for you guys if you get them into your game. Go and look for them on the gallery. It might take me a few days to get them up because I have to wait until I get the game properly and I get access to the gallery because I don't currently have access to the gallery in this kind of like early access build. So I need to get the game myself like properly and then like move the save file over, upload them to the gallery. It's a whole process, so it might take me a few days to do that, but do watch out for them and give them a like if you like them and all that good stuff. If you are buying any packs, if you're buying Life and Death, please use my creator code Cinderellimouse. Helps me out, it just sends a little bit of money my way via EA, which I appreciate. And yeah, all that good stuff, and take care. good luck with this family. I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted, you've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through.